Hello everyone, I'm Tom64.
And I'm Tanner of the North.
And welcome back to the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Oh, we bested the first game. Please ignore this, we're using a separate save slot for this playthrough. But now it's time to move on to the second game, known as RIPTO'S Rage in America and Gateway to Glimmer in the UK and Europe and so on. It's Spyro the Dragon 2, RIPTO'S Rage Reignited.
This is definitely the game that is mine of the trilogy, because of the fact that I played it so much as a kid. It was not only the game that I had at my babysitter's, so I played it quite a bit, albeit without a memory card, because, hey, remember those days. But also the fact that this was one of the games that every time I went over to a friend's house, or even my cousin's house, who all had PS1s, but I didn't have one as a kid, they all said, you know, when I was like, hey, can I play your PS1? I want to try it out. They're like, well, try out Spyro 2. So, and of course, because they didn't want me deleting their save data, I played those without a memory card. So, I know the front half of this game pretty well. The second half of the game, not so much. I only played it for the Sony-thon over here on Hellfire Commentaries. That was the first time playing through 100% for me. So, hey, for the first half, I got you, fam. For that second half, I may be using some external media, shall we say.
No worries, mate, no worries. Let's see, what do I have to say about this? I will rack my memories. Well, first of all, the professor here is played by Tom Kenny. He's reprising his role. And then we have Alora the Fawn. We have Hunter the Cheetah. I'm not sure if their VAs came back. I know the antagonist of the game. I'm pretty sure his VA didn't, which is weird, because I'm sure he was available.
No, those both these characters do have entirely new voice actors. The ones that played them in the original were fairly small-time, non-union voice actors, so it was tough to get them back because, of course, the world of voice acting has changed. These are now voiced by modern VAs, so that's Cassandra Lee Morris, aka Morgana, as Alora. And Hunter, I'll have to look up. I don't remember his new voice actor, but it is a new one, known for a lot of anime.
Spyro actually started being voiced by Tom Kenny from this game forward. Obviously, Tom took over Carlos's role in the original game, giving him a bit of a youthful inflection and whatnot, which a good enough, like, replacement, I suppose. But here we go, here's King Dickhead himself, the only antagonist who, at least in the Insomniac games library, came back. He was so popular. It's Ripto. He hates dragons, and I'm not really sure why.
It's weird, because out of all the characters in this world, he is the most dragon-like, so, sure?
Yeah, and he has a magic scepter. Go, take it, fairy. These sidekicks of his don't really seem suited to taking out smaller things like fairies and whatnot.
Well, they're not the smartest tools in the shed either, as you can see. Gulp has gulped the scepter.
Pretty good translation on Crush. I'm not sure about Gulp, and this is going to lead us into what may be the most divisive part of the Reignited Trilogy, the character redesigns. Now, the dragons in Spyro 1, I would say unambiguously better, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure, where these characters, they definitely moved to the side of, well, again, they got people who really like dragons to redesign the dragons. They very clearly got people who like anthropomorphic creatures to redesign these ones, which your mileage may vary on how much you like it. Personally, I like everyone except for one exception. But I know some people had gripes with Alora looking a bit too attractive.
Actually, it was the opposite. They didn't think she was cute enough. Like, the body is fine. The face seems a bit squished compared to the concept art and the like.
It was too close to a 3 on the scale of furriness instead of a 2. Got it.
Shit, what are you doing, dork? I love that. So yeah, we're going to go through the characters and rate them on a scale of okay to what? The gem cutters from Glimmer, which is the starting world here, their eyes used to be all big and kawaii. Now they're more like regular animals, and it kind of freaks me out a little bit, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's just the eyes really there. I looked it up, the new voice actor for Hunter is Robbie Daymond, best known as he replaced Spider-Man in the Marvel sort of universe there, but he was Goro Akechi in Persona, as well as Prompto in Final Fantasy 15.
There you go. Now, you may notice already that enemies don't actually drop gems. They drop these little firefly things, and the more enemies you kill, the more gates you activate to give Spyro special powers like Super Flame, Supercharge in some instances, and so on. But don't worry, your gems have been given another purpose and whatnot, and we'll see those soon enough.
Yeah, it's actually used as a currency, you know, what you would have expected them to in the first game. Though it was going for a much simpler sort of, you know, Mario coin sort of thing, gotta collect them all. Boy, though, it sure would have been nice if Spyro kept some of his from Nasty's loot last time, because you're gonna need a good number of gems, because someone there really wants them.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, though, like, the same type of currency in a completely different world. This is Avalar. I've never really been able to work out if it's a part of the dragon worlds or not.
I always kind of took it like the dragon universe is like a higher plane, where this is more of the, like, the earth, if you will. Because, you know, as we went through Spyro 1, it was like the Beast Makers, the Dream Weavers, like all of these super, you know, sort of powerful classes of people, where this is like, yeah, these mice mine. So I assume this is the Earth to the Dragon Worlds, you know, beyond.
That's weird. That's weird, because I know 3 deals with the Forgotten Dragon Realms, but maybe I'm just reading into it too much. I mean, Ripto knows about dragons, so shit, maybe we do need a game theory on this.
Yeah. We need a deep lore on it. Actually, fun fact about Ripto is that Ripto's name comes from taking the name Spyro and writing it in Japanese characters. And so when Spyro 1 was localized, the Western developers looked at it and went, yo, that looks like Ripto? That's pretty cool. I like that name.
Use the bridge whenever you want, free of charge.
Oh, Moneybags. What a shit. I love him.
That's the redesign I was talking about I don't like too much. They made him too, and I hate to use the word, a little too daddy. I don't want someone to look at him and have positive feelings ever. In the original, everyone is such an amorphous blob of like 20 polygons, and so because of that, you know, he looks scummy. Where this, by the added detail, I'm like, oh, it looks like one that people will actually like. I don't know about that.
Well, you say blobs. I've always thought the character designs, at least in like 2 and whatnot, look more like Muppets than anything.
A bit Muppety, yeah, because they all kind of extend out of the floor. Like, Moneybags literally has no feet in the original. He is just like a body that hits the floor, because he's kind of meant to be rotund. So here we're going to get our first major collectible, which is the one that you, it's the ultimate goal of each level, pretty much.
Yeah.
The Talisman. The Talismans are your reward for getting to the end and having shown that you conquered the level.
Nice.
However, the big deal is not really getting those. Everyone can get those pretty easily. Versus if you get the orbs. The orbs are the ones that you want to get.
New trick for y'all. Watch this shit. It's all about that hover, son. It'll give you a little bit of flight extension time and whatnot.
The hover that we so wish to have in the original is back, so that's good, because it makes those jumps that you just barely miss actually gettable. There is also a double jump technique that is doable. It's a bit more difficult. Basically what you can do is, if you do a no control stick dash in the air, you will do a bit of a double jump. It is quite difficult because I think you have to be holding X while you do it, but this is an intended thing that the developers put in to make it so that you can more easily get through places you couldn't.
Alright, I'm going to try a little something here. It's what we call the Glimmer skip. Let's go.
Yeah, so I remember discovering this as a kid and marking out, which is the mark of a good skip, one that you can find as a child. Essentially, if you saw earlier, there is a ladder in the corner, and that ladder is one that they expect you to get to later on, to come back with the ability to climb, because Spyro can't climb right now. That's a bit difficult for something with, 4 legs climbing up a ladder. You can, it's possible, but very tight, to take the fly power up from this part of the level and use it to fly over there. However, as we've kind of seen, the timing is very tight. I remember it being a lot easier as a kid. Maybe they slow down the flight just enough, but it is one of those ones that we might come back to instead.
Yeah, I'll get the climbing thing later. And in that regard, I'm going to have to try and play fast and loose with the progression of this playthrough, because with the first game, there was very little you had to kind of like backtrack on and whatnot. Here, there's more than one instance of having to go back to levels with stuff you get later, which is, I'm not really sure how I feel about that. In 3, you had, like, I don't know, buddy sections that you kind of need to come back with, but that was like entire sections, not just 1 or 2 orbs to go.
Yeah, it is something that, it is, whether you like Banjo-Kazooie or Tooie more, although there is way less powers. There's only, I can only think of, 3 off the top of my head. So because of that, it's not as big of a deal, and for the most part, there's not every world has that, only a couple of them do. But one of the secret missions we have is firing these rocks at these little bouncy lizard creatures, which are just... they're not very nice.
No.
So what you gotta do is you gotta go into first person and shoot them. As a child, I was stupid, and that tip with the fairy on the bridge telling you to use the triangle button to look didn't exist. So as such, I didn't know that you could look with the triangle button. And I was a kid and I didn't press buttons that I wasn't told to because I was scared. So as such, I did a lot of this with just jumping and firing with the fire breath button, which is doable for all of them except the last one.
Oh, Tanner, my sweet, naive gaming simpleton of yore.
That's what happens when you're a kid with a game without a memory card.
Oh man, I have a similar situation in regards to not having a memory card. I remember trying to unlock Ninja, or whatever it was called, in Snowboard Kids, but I didn't have a memory pack, so I had to leave the game on, and eventually it just turned out like my mum or granddad turned it off to save electricity and whatnot.
Yeah. Yep. I'm happy we're past that time, though I do miss memory cards just for the aesthetic.
You can pick up a rock by just walking up to it. Okay, cool. I was too close. I gotta get away. I have to push people away in order to get what I want. Yeah. These guys are still kind of cute, I guess. It just takes a while to re-acclimatize to their new look.
Yeah, to their small, beady, rat-like eyes, which makes sense as they are mice.
Well, no, they're not mice. I think they're marsupials of some variety.
Oh, I always took them as mice, but I guess, yeah, they're kind of bounding around. Let's split the difference and say they are a kangaroo rat, which is a true species of animal.
Okay, well, there you go. Are you gonna move? No, you're not. I dislike the disgusting human faces, Tanner.
If you try and actually go up to them to fire breath them, they do dig underground, so you cannot jump up to them and use fire breath. It was something that I thought as a kid, but of course, again, skipping the dialogue, didn't know that they would do that there.
Come on. Really? Well, alright then, I guess.
I think on the PS1 that would have hit, but these newfangled good hit boxes made it so that they didn't now.
Oh yes, and give us that sweet, sweet first orb, baby.
Here, take this orb.
I love the aesthetic of the orbs. They look like an item you want to pick up in a video game.
Ah, nice. Alright, I guess we're done with Glimmer for now until we get the climbing ability and whatnot.
No, there is one more we can do.
Oh.
If you remember the flight power-up at the end there, you can use it to hit all of the lights.
Yep, the lamps and whatnot.
That is one that you can do. There is one in here to hit the lamps with as well, but you need the climb. That's what we're going for here. But outside here, there is one that we can do.
Let's do this shit. Oh.
They are on a timer, so you're supposed to try and get them all in kind of one go around. Hit them with your fire breath, and they light up, which will make the big gem glow and give us an orb, because, hey, they want it to look pretty here.
This makes my gem become the big gem. Interesting thought. Maybe the gem cutters are the ones who make the gems for the dragons and whatnot.
That would make sense, and then they, like, sacrifice them up to the higher plane of existence.
Doesn't seem like it's too big of a slave trade, so I can sleep well at night.
Every time we collect one, I just want to scream, "Orb!" because I've been watching more AGDQ runs in my spare time. And every time they see an orb, they do scream orb.
Oh, right, you ready to start the game proper, mate?
Yep.
Let's do this shit.
Time to head off to the hub world.
Summer Forest, baby.
I do like the hub worlds a lot in this one because they're so simple in, hey, it's a season. That's it. That's the theming. Enjoy the season.
Yep. And I think in the third game it's times of day, actually.
Oh yeah, I guess that does make sense. I didn't really put that together.
There you go. Oh no, money bags. Oh, Ripto's taken over. Well, maybe he'll do things better. You never know. Give him a chance.
I mean, can we assume that Moneybags was much better?
My name is Alora.
Hi, I'm Spyro. What are you, some kind of goat?
I'm a fawn, you dork.
There's a lot less edge to this Reignited Trilogy than there were in the original games, because, you know, 90s, early 2000s, you know, everyone had to be a bit overtly, like, aggressive or abrasive and whatnot. So Alora's a lot more playful with Spyro here than she was at, you know, the start of the game in the original 2.
Yeah, I definitely remember her saying that was, like, way angrier, where here it's like, oh, you don't know better.
Got a little lost.
Hunter is about the same, though.
Well, Hunter was always just a chill dude. Like, as soon as Hunter and Spyro met, they're like, are we best buddies? Oh, heck yeah, we are.
Right now. Ripto and his monsters have taken over the castle here in the Summer Forest.
Yes,
We're going to have to go to Avalar's worlds and convince the inhabitants to give
Nice
their
music here. I can't recall this being in the original.
I remember the music in the overworld here being just real good. I enjoyed just sometimes chilling out, leaving the hub world on while I, you know, ate my chicken fingers.
Your tendies and whatnot. Now, I was referring more to the cutscene music, but, hey.
They're important too, but I'll tell you about them later.
Okay, no problem.
You know, I wanted a vacation and whatnot, but, I guess I'll do this first.
Dragon Shores by lunchtime.
You know, just casually solving an entire world's problems on the way to your, you know, summer home.
There you go, mate.
So the hub world does itself have its own selection of orbs and gems. No talisman, because it's not a world there, but it does have the other two collectibles for us to get.
Okay, so pushing in the right stick this time gives you first-person mode, but Sparks still has his function and whatnot, I suppose.
He does, yep. I think in the original that only worked after there was something to unlock it. It was like you needed to get at least 60% of the gems in a level, or there was something that prevented it from being used right away. But here they let you use it right away because hey, why not? It just makes it easier.
No silver dragons this time. We have silver butterflies for extra lives. Oh, hey Laura, what are you doing here?
Spyro, this is the homeworld called Summer Forest. There are portals to many of the Avalar worlds around here. Unfortunately, Ripto has taken over the castle, and we need your help.
Yes.
Start by retrieving the talismans from each of the worlds you visit.
Thank you for telling us what we learned in the other cutscene.
Look, she's trying her best, okay? There's a hostile takeover of the monarchy going on right now.
Again, though, is it that bad of a thing? I mean, we should really consider looking into, Ripto's policies before we immediately label him as a bad guy.
Yeah, he's just genocided a few dragons. Who hasn't, really?
Okay, well, what about his economic policies?
What way does he lean politically?
Yeah.
One change, and this is in the original, it's nothing to do with the Reignited Trilogy, that I didn't really care for, is you'll notice how we still have, if you look at the total of gems, it still gives us what we got in Glimmer, instead of going like level by level. So sometimes it can be a wee bit tricky to realise how many gems you've collected.
That's true, I didn't even realize that. You can check your guidebook, which they made a big deal about at the beginning, that you can take a look at there, to actually see, well, how much completion do you have, but otherwise it is something that, yeah, that is a change that I could see definitely as a negative, just for the fact that you need to keep track exactly of the numbers, and if you don't get everyone in, say, like the first level there, then you don't have an easy way to go, did I get them all, without necessarily seeing the pop-up for it.
Teach you how to swim underwater, but not as much as I'd love to take your treasure.
Alright, what do you want? 500 gems?
Oh, this guy is, he gets on a lot of players' nerves, shall we say. He's one that, people had a bit of a issue with. Though not in like this character was problematic sort of way, but in a, oh boy, I can't wait for you to get your comeuppance kind of way.
There's a very fine line when creating characters like that, because they could either come off as abrasive but endearing, or annoying and you just don't like them. And for me, Moneybags is one of gaming's oldest bastards, and I'm glad to have him reignited as a daddy once more.
Anyways, here's a bit of a gem challenge, or rather the orb challenge.
Yeah.
So we want to be jumping over some stuff with Hunter here, and this is where he teaches you really how to use the both the glide as well as the glide hop there. It is one that, as a child, again, I skipped the text because I was impatient, and I got to the last one by not using the glide hop, and I was like, oh cool, and then later on again one of the older kids said, why did you do that so difficultly, just do the glide hop.
Oh Tanner, why didn't you just do the glide hop, you stupid bastard?
When I was a kid, I would always try and beat stuff in the ways that's not intended, because I was always thought I was smarter than the game. I was like, they're trying to tell me to do this, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna find another way.
Fair dues, mate, fair dues. Oh, can you see that orb just bouncing, like, in Hunter's arm gap and whatnot?
It is, and it's taunting us.
I think we need the power of swimming in order to be able to get that.
Possibly, or maybe just one really big long jump, but we'll see.
Wow, you're a pretty good athlete. If I hadn't lost my running shoes, I'd take you on for real.
Why does a cheater need running shoes?
Better question, why does he randomly get pants in the third game?
Yeah, good point. I'm not sure that was a thing in the original.
It was, and I remember seeing it in the original and going, because I played Spyro 3 long after 2, but I remember then seeing Hunter and going, I don't remember Hunter wearing pants. And then I looked it up and it was like, no, he never wore pants in 2, but he did in 3, so something changed.
Yeah, something altogether unseeming.
So right now we can't dive, we can doggy paddle on the surface of the water, but we don't know how to go under it.
No.
So that's what he's got to teach us. Thankfully, when he says, teach you how to swim, it's not, if you jump in the water, you drown and lose a life.